All right, let's talk about the big news in the heavyweight division. Well, Wilder versus Zhang Weili is pretty big news, but I think everyone's kind of confident about how that's gonna go. What I really mean is Ngannou versus AJ. So obviously, after Ngannou did what he did to Fury and upset the whole heavyweight division, there's so many questions, so much doubt about boxing, and particularly what I see is a lot of MMA fans coming and talking crazy about boxing, which is understandable. First of all, I can't say it's understandable because I think the rivalry between MMA and boxing is ridiculous because I enjoy both and I don't really have to choose, and I don't think anybody else has to choose. But you know, MMA fans talking crazy about boxing and they bring up Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which is a horrible example. And maybe one day I'll talk about that. But yeah, I won't even focus on that because I don't think that fight does much to, you know, highlight MMA fighters are way better than boxers. I do think there's a lot of talent in MMA currently, particularly in the UFC. Their talent pool is concentrated, a lot going on. But Francis Ngannou is a unique phenom. What he is physically and even mentally to a certain extent is it's not just about MMA. He himself would be successful at just about any other combat sport. His chin is ridiculous. His power is world record shattering. I mean, the only problem he has is cardio. Other than that, he's strong as an ox. So when you see Francis Ngannou come over and shock somebody like Fury, who in the fight, I don't know how he was training, but in the fight, he wasn't taking Ngannou serious until he got dropped. And even then, he was very cautious. So Ngannou, and like if you see my breakdown on that, Ngannou did a good job boxing and really using his skills. But AJ is a whole different beast. Where AJ could run into problems with Ngannou is him getting hit with some powerful shots and him getting really tentative, kind of like how Fury did. The difference is with AJ can hurt Wilder. I mean, not Wilder. AJ can hurt Ngannou really bad himself. And I think, and you're going to see me do a breakdown very soon, I think AJ in many ways is far more skilled than Fury. I think Fury has a great outside game and has some of the best feints in boxing. But other than that, especially when it comes to physical talents, the speed, the power, the explosivity, the athleticism, the agility, that's going to AJ. But I also think a lot of boxing skills like setting traps, you know, stuff like that. When I analyze that Otto Wallin thing, that Otto Wallin fight, you'll see what I mean when I'm talking about AJ's ability. Because I have a video where the performance against Pulev, I say AJ's best performance. And in that, you see the intelligence AJ is capable of displaying when he's relaxed the way he should be. When AJ's robotic mode and like, no, I think he could be in trouble if he tries to approach Ngannou in that robotic mode, because he's not going to be able to get his head off the line the way he would want to. And so when Ngannou showed about the heavyweight division is something a lot of people, including myself, have been saying. The talent in the heavyweight division is not really admirable. You got a lot of big, slow heavyweights and people like Wilder and Fury. And I do think Fury's a good fighter. And I think Wilder's good to a certain extent. But you got people like Wilder and Fury who specialize in beating these big, slow heavyweights. But then when they get in there with somebody who can move better, like a Otto Wallin or a Joseph Parker, they get shown some trouble, right? And so Ngannou came in there and was athletic. He was strong. Fury wasn't able to bully him. Fury was having trouble closing the distance because somebody had the same reach as him. It was a lot of stuff that Ngannou posed, and some of those threats are going to be posed against AJ as well. But here's the narrative that I just want to dispel. First of all, that the AJ fight versus Ngannou was going to look anything like the Fury fight versus Ngannou, I highly doubt it. And that this fight is way more dangerous for Ngannou. And then the third thing, this is important. Just because one fighter comes from a sport and is successful in another sport, so from MMA to boxing, that doesn't mean MMA is better than boxing. And just because a boxer, let's say a boxer or a kickboxer comes to MMA and is successful, that doesn't mean MMA is trash. Sometimes great combat athletes succeed in combat sports in general. Somebody like Israel Adesanya can come from kickboxing and MMA, be successful. Same thing with Alex Pereira. Same thing with some wrestlers. A lot of wrestlers are successful, but they bring the wrestling over to MMA. So the transfer of skills and the transfer of physical capabilities, that doesn't do anything to diminish one sport. Rather, it highlights that singular athlete. So that's just gonna shut down that narrative. And be ready for me to drop a video covering AJ versus Wallin, because I do want to analyze some of that. I'm also gonna analyze Uwe and criticize some of the parts that I didn't like about that performance. And then we're gonna look at some kickboxing. We're gonna do a lot of different stuff, and we might look at Virgil Ortiz tonight. So we'll keep it brief. Immortality Serum out.